Hello, hello, and welcome to this episode of the Be Free podcast, which I am very excited to be back and sharing this episode with Pamela Sommers, who I had reached out to a few months ago, and then due to my health and various things, didn't come to fruition, but now we're here, and I'm so excited for Pamela to share her wisdom with you today. And yeah, so Pamela, do you want to do a little intro to who you are, what you do?
Yes, thank you, Susie. I'm delighted to be here. Yeah, sure. Well, first and foremost, I'm a mother. I'm also an entrepreneur and an author of personal development books. And I also coach women who have overcome, for some reason or another, they've had their life turned upside down, and I help them feel happy again.
Cool. I think we all need that. I was literally chatting to my sister earlier this morning, and she said, "Oh, what are you doing at work today?" And I said, "Oh, I'm away to interview this lady, Pamela Sommers, and she's going to be sharing this, this, and this." And so I told her a little bit about you, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, we all need Pamela Sommers." So yeah, so amazing. So we actually met on a networking call, an online networking call, a number of months ago. And I was kind of blown away by your diverse expertise, all the different things that you support women with. And originally, when we'd first scheduled the call, I was doing a few episodes around teen mental health and support for teens. And I know obviously you'd had your own issues in and around mental health as a teen, and then like now you're obviously this best-selling author, award-winning entrepreneur. You've been featured in Vogue and Women's Own, and all these incredible things have happened. And I just wondered, how do you get from that teen with mental health issues to where you're at today? A little bit about you.
Yeah, sure. Wow. I think the first important thing is to actually recognize that this is going on in yourself, because I think many times now we can shut it down, but then comes to a point where there's only so much you can shut it down. There's only a certain time period you can shut it down for before things have a habit of coming out. And at the time, I was very depressed. I was suicidal. I was in a really bad place, but I think looking back, I'm so glad that I recognized that in myself, that I actually needed help. And I think to start with, don't be afraid to go and get help. Recognize that it's not that you're a failure or anything. It's just that, well, we all need help at some point in our life. So the very first step was actually reaching out for help. And
sorry to interrupt you there, Pamela. How old have you been?
I was probably about 16, to be honest, around that time. Yeah. And I probably thought, well, I was the only person going through that, and I didn't want to tell anybody about it. But the funny thing is, the moment I started speaking about it, the moment I realized that I wasn't actually alone, that there was lots of people going through it as well. And I think you need to have that compassion to yourself, be kind to yourself to start with. And a lot of the time was not really, it wasn't instigated by me. It was a lot of the time was things that had happened to me, but then I couldn't understand why I was feeling like that.
Yeah.
I thought at the time it was something wrong with me, so people might be feeling really alone and isolated and think they're the only ones, and it's all because it's their fault.
Yeah.
The first thing to realize that it's not your fault. And when you reach out to someone, I had counseling, I had coaching, I read lots of self-help books that helped me. I did a lot of work on myself, like mindsets, I had to go back from scratch in a way, building my self-worth, self-esteem, self-love. I mean, learning to love yourself all over again, starting from scratch, because a lot of people may not have had that love from their parents or caregiver that we think everyone had, so you had to give it to yourself to start with. Once you start giving it to yourself and realizing that, and then just taking it slowly, step by step, each day at a time, And that's how it all started, really.
Wow, amazing. And I think so many people listening will be able to resonate with that. I think it's incredible you had that awareness at such a young age. And I think probably intrinsically we do. I know I was prescribed antidepressant and some beta blockers and things like that at the age of 15. But in my heart at that time, I knew there was another way. Like I knew like it just didn't feel right for me. And I know it's right for so many people, but at that time I was just like, I need to know why. Like I need to know why. Like, why is this happening? And as you say, taking that path of then looking at other ways to support yourself and that self-love. I have so many clients who, when they first come to me, they hate that terminology, self-love. They're like, oh, you know, it feels so uncomfortable. But that's what it comes down to, isn't it? You know,
absolutely, yeah.
We have to be able to give it to ourselves for sure.
Yeah, because love is, to me, I would say love is a starting point of everything. Where it all starts, it stems from that. And once you have that core foundation, solid foundation, then you can do anything, you know, everything is possible.
Ah, I love that. That's going to be my theme for the rest of this week. Choose love, choose love, choose love. And one of the other things you mentioned there, which I think is really important for people to recognize, is that sensation of not being alone, of recognizing that other people are experiencing the same things as you. And I think that can be why things like community, and I recently have been running women's retreat days for anxiety sufferers, and when they come together, they're like, oh my gosh, like I thought this was just me that had these thoughts or, you know, sensations. And there can be so much comfort in recognizing that, as you say, there's nothing wrong with you. There may have been things that have happened that have caused that. Wow, thank you so much for sharing your story and speaking about that. So I know from kind of looking at your website and listening to you talk and speak that you're very multi-passionate. So you know, have written self-development books, you've done stuff to support teens, you do your coaching, you have this jewelry business, like you've got all these different things going on. And I wondered, did you ever feel like you needed to pigeonhole yourself? Like, I think that so many women feel like, oh, well, I can't do this, this, and this. I need to focus on one thing, whether that be my job or my whatever, you know. How do you?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I know, I hear the people that say only focus on one thing and things like that. And I tried that, but it didn't work for me. So I would very much say, just do what works for you. And, you know, for me, I found it too restrictive, and I get bored quite easily, and I like a bit of variety. And I think, you know, I think everyone is multidimensional. There's so much more to you than just doing one thing. And I think it's important to have fun with what you do, with your work. So, you know, get excited about getting up in the morning and doing what you feel like you want to do that moment. It doesn't mean that you're not focused. I mean, I still stay focused. For example, if I'm writing a book, I'll get my head down and I'll do that. If it's a book or whatever project it is, get your head down, get on with it, do that. But that doesn't mean to say you can't do other things. You're allowed to have fun while you're doing stuff and get excited. And I think, don't limit yourself. I mean, life's too short to limit yourself, you know?
Yeah, I love that. That's what I needed to hear, hence the adding the question. And I love that. There's so many things that I love doing, and the different modalities that I like to work with. And people say to me, what do you do? And I'm like, what do I do? Today I am working on such and such.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think we should put restrictions on ourselves, you know. I mean, I think you've only got one life, so live it to the full, you know.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I've learned actually since being ill at the start of this year, is just kind of like making sure that I'm experiencing joy every single day. That, you know, exactly, life is, you know, one day I might be feeling great, the next day I might not be feeling so great, but either way I need to experience joy every single day of my life.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I love that. Okay, so I know that you are this huge advocate and supporter of empowering women to follow their dreams, to live out their dreams. And you've mentioned there, you know, making sure that you're having fun and things like that. Why do you think so many of us don't reach our dreams or follow them?
I think for me anyway, I think a lot of it is worrying about what other people think constantly, you know, comparing ourselves to other and worrying what they think about us. I know I certainly did that for a long time. I did that. And I think if we're not careful, that could stop us, restrict us from taking that first steps, you know, because, oh no, what would that person think of me? What would my partner think? What would my friends think? It's almost like asking permission from other people in a way. You know, and once I got my head around that, actually, people have got enough to think about themselves. You know, a lot of people are wrapped up in their own lives. They're not worrying about what you're doing, you know. So, and once I got my head around that, that was a big game changer for me. I felt, right, that's it. There's no restrictions now. I can move forward. And it was, you know, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders then. People are not constantly worrying about you, you know, and then just let it go. In fact, you could inspire them by doing, you know, going forward and moving forward in a big way. I mean, even little steps towards something, if you're doing them consistently, you know, they all add up. So go for what you want in life. You might be surprised by how supportive they can be actually in the end. And also you might be surprised by your own potential.
Yeah, I love that. That's definitely that. Yeah, I think sometimes we do get to the other end of, as you say, if you're taking that little steps, then suddenly you're like, how did I get here? Like, I literally had a moment the other night. I was riding my horse. It's a friend's horse that I have. And I was riding her in our field, and I'm looking back at our house and stables and like all these things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this has happened. This is what I used to dream about, and now I'm here.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. You're like, have that moment. And I think, yeah, it's important to celebrate those little moments, isn't it, as you go through, like, wow, but yeah, step by step, bit by bit, following those dreams. Awesome. So you have written about and have so much experience in a huge range of areas: mind, body, spirit, self-help, motivation, self-esteem. I know so many of our listeners struggle in many of these areas of confidence or stress or overwhelm or all these different things. And I just wondered if you can maybe offer some support to people who are listening who want to feel good even on the days maybe where they're flagging a bit, or any kind of support or nuggets that you could share.
Yeah, I mean, challenging days come to all of us. I would say, to start with, I would get quiet. What I like to do is put my hand on my heart and actually just get quiet and listen, feel your breath, and slowly breathe in. Say, breathe in slowly for 3 inhales, and then slowly exhale for 6. And this slows your breathing down. This will calm you down as well. And actually just ask yourself, what can I do right now to make me feel better? Now, if you are not in a position to, you know, do this, maybe you can go to the bathroom or something and look in the mirror and ask yourself this: what can I do right now to make myself just feel a little bit better? It doesn't have to be major, even just the slightest bit. It could be as simple as making yourself a cup of tea, going for a walk, just, you know, putting some music on, but just taking that first step to what makes you feel better right now. What can you do? It'll make all the difference.
Amazing. So yeah, I think tapping in and having that awareness, and it can feel quite empowering, recognizing yourself that you have the answers to what you need as well in the moment.
Yeah, listen, because, you know, listening is I think it's underrated actually. Listening skills are underrated, but yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to try that later on. I do love doing things like that, connecting in with my heart and just checking in what I need that day, or in that moment. What other tools and techniques do you use? Obviously, you've had experience in the past where your mental health you've struggled with it, what do you do now to ensure that you support your mental and emotional and physical health?
Yeah, well, I have my little things. I mean, I again get quiet. I pray, I meditate, I exercise, but there's also little things you can do throughout the day as well. For example, you could set reminders on your phone and just remind yourself that every now and again you'll say, "Oh, Susie, you're amazing," or something like that. And if you've got a smart speaker, what I like to do is set up a reminder through the day and say, for example, you'll say, "Susie, you're gorgeous," something like that throughout the day at regular intervals. And you'll be surprised, no matter how challenging your day is, it'll make you feel good. But also there's something I think about coming from a voice coming from somewhere else that makes you listen and stop and listen. It's like it's like an authority figure, if you like, that will say it back to you, and that makes you stop and think as well and smile. Just little things like that. And also journaling can help as well. Journaling, if something is triggering you, for example, journal about it. Ask yourself, why has this happened? Why am I reacting this way? And then also ask the big question, how can I move forward to this? Or how can I think things or do things differently, to get a different reaction, and, do things like that to help yourself.
Yeah, incredible. Thank you. So yeah, hopefully that inspires somebody to go and get their Alexa shouting out their names throughout the day and the positive stuff. I love things like that just, like, as you say, like pattern interrupt and
absolutely
pull you back, and especially if it makes you kind of laugh. I'm a huge advocate of bringing humor into challenging situations and days, just to kind of change the vibe a bit. So yeah, I'm going to utilize that. I do have reminders on my phone, but now I'm going to make sure that I get this little voice telling me how awesome I am throughout the day. I just, my daughter, her first day back at school today, and she'd been going through a bit of a challenging time, and I'd said that to her when she was leaving the car. I was like, 1, remember mom loves you all throughout the day. 2, remember you're freaking awesome. And she's like,
oh, brilliant.
Hey, Mom.
See, that's day up. That'll set her day up for,
yeah. I think she's just mortified, but yeah, it'll land. It'll be in there. So my whole kind of ethos in life now is to empower people to live this life of freedom, where they don't feel constricted by anxiety or stress or life's challenges. And I wondered, what is it that gives you that sense of freedom and feeling free in your life?
For me, freedom. I feel most free when I'm dancing. To me, that's my happy place, and I feel so carefree when I'm doing something like that. Music for me also, because I write songs and I play instruments, so I think expressing yourself in your own personal way that makes you feel good, and just being carefree, I think, and also going about in childlike wonder, looking out for possibilities and like surprises, opportunities and things like that. I think that helps a lot.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, so you're very creative, writing music, playing music, writing books, jewelry, all sorts. Incredible. So yeah, I love that childlike experience as well. I think we can often miss that if we don't slow down enough just to appreciate things. And I love that, being in the countryside at nighttime where we live, we see the stars, and
wow.
Yeah, it's just such a gift. And childlike and humor, I want to share this on the podcast here today, or for anyone that's watching. I went to the beach the other day, and it was one of those soul guided moments. I was like driving around, where am I going to take the dog, and went to this forest bit, and I was like, no. And then I went to a beach, and then when I got there, I was the only person there on this beach with the dog. And it was sunny, it was incredible, and I ran along the beach like skipping and screaming, like,
brilliant.
whoa!
Yeah, Yeah.
Just having fun. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've got the whole beach to myself. This is so crazy. And just, yeah, being playful and just, yeah, again, having fun, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a gift, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So thank you so much for sharing with us today. How can people, obviously I will share your links, but what's the best way for people to connect with you or to find your books or support?
Yeah, sure. My website is pamelasommers.com. That's Sommers, SOMMERS. If you go to pamelasommers.com/free gift, there's a free gift there for you. At present, it's a pocket full of love guided meditation.
Nice.
Enjoy that. Also, I'm on Instagram at instagram.com/pamela.sommers.
Amazing. Brilliant. Well, yeah, everybody go give Pamela a follow and go sign up for her lovely meditation gift there. That sounds absolutely beautiful. And is there anything you want to add, Pamela, just for before we jump off today?
Yeah, I would say that in a world full of imitation, be yourself, be bold, be beautiful, and be you.
Oh, thank you. That is such a gift for anyone that's listening. And yeah, thank you. So I appreciate you sharing your time with us today. And I hope people can feel inspired to, I think main thing coming through that sense of seeking support, recognizing that you're individual and that's okay, but also recognizing that there's many other people experiencing what you're experiencing, and that's also okay. So thank you so much for today, and I cannot wait to connect with you again in the future.
Oh, you're very welcome. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.